What's up, folks? I got the ghost joining me today. We got the Diddy sentencing happening right now, I think it is. A lot of big things are happening. So I'm going to try to run through this pretty quick. Hit your notifications button. The Venmo, folks, if you appreciate me, I appreciate you. That's D-Rod1977, D-Rod1977. Ringside with Nino on ninoscorner.tv is going to be Wednesday the 8th. At 5 p.m., folks. So right now, I want to just bring up the Diddy stuff. I sent it to Alex. So, Alex, if you can bring that up. P. Diddy right now is going to be sentenced. Now, is he going to get a slap on the wrist? What's this guy going to get? So, in my opinion, I think some big names were sold out with Diddy. So, whatever sentence he gets, just know that he is rolled on some people. And is Jay-Z one of them? I would like to know that. There's a lot of people moving out of the country right now. And so it's going to be pretty damn exciting to see what happens here. So Sean Diddy Combs, there it is. Man, big news coming this way. We'll see what kind of sentence he gives.
We have an exclusive.
Alex, keep me updated on what kind of sentence he gets as we go through this show, because I'm curious to know if he's going to get a light sentence, a medium sentence, or something pretty severe. We all know he deserves something pretty severe. Folks, red light, get the red light. What if you could fire up your heart and supercharge circulation in just 15 minutes without drugs or surgery? That's exactly what cutting-edge research shows red light therapy can do. It charges your heart's mitochondria, helping it beat stronger, last longer, and fight inflammation. In one study, mice with heart failure bounce back fast. Their hearts shrank to a healthy size and function soared. No pills, no side effects, just pure light power, folks. Red Life delivers the exact therapeutic wavelengths used in those studies. So you can energize your heart naturally. I use it every day. I use this every day. More stamina, better blood flow, a heart built to last. Right at home. To claim this breakthrough yourself, go to myredlight.com. It's down there down below, and use the code NINO to get started, folks. You don't want to miss out on this. It's the future of medicine. You know, I wasn't able to have my coffee today, and I'm going to tell you why. I have a stress test today. I'm going to get my heart checked out. So we'll see if the red light's been working. I think it has. I feel great. So going to be doing the stress test today. They don't want me to drink any coffee. I can't eat. So I'll let you all know how I do on my stress test, baby. So, and let's see what happens with the diddler. And, folks, if it's breaking, go ahead and put it up in the comments. You know, we're the Black Sheep family. We do all of this together. I don't claim to know any more than anybody else. Folks, X is Nino Boxer. Patriotwear.com, ping right there. And ninoscorner.tv is going to be fire. I got Wino saving up right now. I got Sheila Home. That video I did with Sheila Home was unbelievable. She really, really broke it down for all of us to understand the operation that's happening behind the scenes. So the ghost is also going to be helping us, is going to help us break that down as well when he comes on the show, which will be here in just a couple minutes, folks. I'm bringing him on right now. The general tent this month, I'm going to get Sheila Home and Wano Sabin together. So I'm going to coordinate that and get it together. It'll be later this month. So go to ninoscorner.tv. Subscribe for the General's Tent. It'll be Sheila Home and Juan. As we go into October, November, December, you're going to want to hear what they both have to say, how this operation is going to be played out. Alpha and Joshua Reed, Alpha Warrior and Joshua Reed are coming on ninoscorner.tv. Saturday, I got Patrick Byrne coming on. Patrick Byrne, you all know about Patrick Byrne. That's going to be a big one. That's going to be a huge, huge podcast. That's coming up. I got Danny and Brinkley. And without further ado, folks, you might want to turn it down or turn it up, baby. Yeah. Coming at you live from the apocalypse, folks. Yeah. Let's go. All right. So let's get started on this. Pretty crazy time. It is the Shutdown Showdown. So now Trump's going to, he can basically do what he needs to do without the checks and balances and downsize and shrink the government. So right now, we're a few days into the government shutdown, and reflecting back on Pete Hegseth's historic anti-woke and implementation of new standards speech to over 800 generals and admirals, preparations are now in order for the war to take back America. And I don't know if you all saw or listened to my Midnight Caravan with John B. Wells last night, but it was epic. We talked about all this stuff last night. Go back and listen to it, John B. Wells, Midnight Caravan. It was pretty damn epic. We went over all this stuff in detail. Trump is sending in troops to Portland, Chicago, Memphis, and many more cities to come. Who are they targeting? Well, yes, Hamas, the usual suspects. You got Hamas, you got illegal immigrants, but guess who else, folks? You know that defiant teenager we all know, that kid that's 18 to 20, Antifa? Better change their ways pretty fast because the military's coming for you. And I'm hearing you're going to do some hard time because now you're a terrorist organization. Be smart. And a lot of these people, folks, I reached out to a person just yesterday he claims he's an Antifa leader. I'm going to try to bring him on to ninoscorner.tv. He hasn't responded yet. I've left him a message. I'm going to leave him another one. I know his X account. And even on his X account, he claims he's a leader, one of the heads of Antifa. I'm like, man, you really have big balls to put that shit out there on the internet. It's only a matter of time before your door gets busted down. I mean, these people, they're sick. They're sick, but you know how I do it. I'll bring them on, and I'll play the neutral. I'll play a little bit of possum. Oh, really? Tell me more. Oh, wow, you don't say. Well, how else did you do that? That's what I do, and I hope you all enjoy it. You don't want to be too threatening with these people. You want to get their guards to get a little lower down so they can start feeling comfortable and just chat away, just talk away, and then you all decide. That's what I do with my interviews. I don't debate anybody, and I do this because, to me, I'm trying to be a little clever here and have them spill out the information that you all need. So now you know the cat's out of the bag. So the border crisis. So as we send troops to Portland, Chicago, Memphis, and many more cities to come, the border crisis is locked down as the head cartel leaders get taken down in droves across areas in America and Mexico. We also have battleships outside the coast of Venezuela with now threats that we are going to strike inside Venezuela. This is all coming. Maduro's days are numbered, folks. Now, I'm hearing that they're going to try to do that with a coup inside the country, have his own people overthrow him. But I guess if that doesn't work, they're just going to send a little drone right up his ass. And what else? Well, we all know the arrests are coming. Now, Pam Bondi put something out just recently saying, it's all coming. Can somebody put it in the chat, what she put? Because 𝗬𝗏 told me that this morning. I have not been able to look or check. And usually I try to do that. I try to validate my sources. But she said something. She said something regarding arrests. So can somebody put that up in the post? Because I'd like to know what she said. I haven't had time to check on it yet. And just when you think shit's going to hit the fan, oh, by the way, tons of intel are stating that Russia now is moving troops to the border of Poland. Now, drones are closing in on their airspace, has actually gone into their airspace, but a lot of rumors are swirling around saying that Russia is moving troops close to the border. So the fun's about to begin. The fun is about to begin. Oh, yeah, that's right. We also have Israel. Have you all seen the videos of the Charlie Kirk, Utah Valley University amphitheater that he was in, how they've just completely remodeled the crime scene? Oh, yeah, they gave it a facelift. They've completely remodeled the crime scene, folks. Could you have ever imagined such a thing? Imagine they did that with JFK. They just went there, bulldozed everything, got rid of the grassy knoll, But no, they did it this time. Yeah. They did it this time. They went in and remodeled the whole place. Yeah, because it was triggering people, I guess, maybe. Maybe people just, I don't know, they found it offensive that an assassination took place there, so they decided to change it. Wouldn't you imagine, like, common sense would tell you, like, well, wouldn't the FBI still be there and working forensics and, like, using dummies to calibrate, see where the bullet came from, stuff? I mean, wouldn't that be what they were doing? Nah, fuck that. That tells you there's some very powerful people behind this shit. Very, very powerful people. If you can get the university to remodel a crime scene, who the hell is in charge here? This is insanity. So, about Russia and Poland. While no confirmed reports indicate a full-scale Russian troop advance into Poland, recent weeks have seen a significant escalation in tensions, primarily involving Russian drone incursions into Polish airspace. In response, both Poland and NATO have taken protective and retaliatory measures, and they're going to need the United States. They're going to need the United States. Recent provocations. What is it? Hey, yo. All right. You know that word. How do you say it, Alex?
Provocations.
And responses. Thanks, Alex. Russian drone incursions September 9th to the 10th, 2025. Around 24 Russian drones violated Polish airspace during an aerial attack on Ukraine. The response, Poland and other NATO allies scrambled aircraft to intercept the drones, successfully shooting down several. The incident prompted Poland to invoke Article 4 of the Washington Treaty, triggering urgent consultations with NATO. Increased air and ground activity taking place right now, ongoing aerial assault, aerial harassment, and other NATO members, including Estonia, Romania, and Finland, have also reported recent Russian airspace violations with both drones and jets. This is picking up, folks. This is really picking up. Trump touts shutdown as unprecedented opportunity to cut more Democratic priorities. President Donald Trump said Democrats gave him an unprecedented opportunity to slash government agencies during the government shutdown. Now, I've been told, Juan said, and I'm sure Ghost is going to elaborate on this, that is basically, now that he's downsizing the government, he's also going to have a little more leeway to do what he wants, whatever that means. And I'm going to have Ghost come on in just a second to talk about this. The Trump administration recently said it froze about $18 billion for New York City infrastructure projects and canceled another $8 billion for climate projects in Democratic-leaning states. Trump said he will meet with the Office of Management and Budget Director Russell Vought, whatever, a Project 2025 author, to discuss cutting what he called Democratic agencies. Oh boy, they're in trouble, aren't they? Oh, the Democrats. I told you the Democratic Party will not exist, will be like nothing in 2028. They're going to be completely dismantled and destroyed. And that also goes to say the rhinos will too. Ghost, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing fine this good morning. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Good to have you on. So the government shutdown, it's the shutdown showdown is what I'm calling it. Can you give my audience a little bit of perspective on this? Is this by design? Is this a strategy? Is this going to work in Trump's favor?
Well, remember what I've always talked about, bureaucratic sedition, meaning someone obscure at a desk can slow down a piece of paper, can slow down anything they want. But is their position really viable? Is it necessary? So this is a chance, to clear out a lot of the riffraff and a lot of the mess. They don't think that everything they do is monitored. Everything, we have these tracking devices we carry with us all the time. All they're talking in front of them. Offices filled with phones. Think about it. It's all being matrixed. It's all being collected. It's all being known. So you're going to clean out that You're going to clean out the sludge in the pipe.
That makes sense.
And that's basically what you're saying.
But what about Trump able to make decisions now that he wouldn't need permission for? Does that make sense? Am I understanding that correctly?
That's in reality, that's been there since 1933, as I've said before. The state of emergency that exists has never been rescinded. So all of the lines added to U.S. code to support the executive branch's ability to make decisions unilaterally, whether people like that or not. And yes, that is worthy of discussion, of course. It's now being exercised, except it's not being exercised by a Hillary Clinton type.
Right. So let me get
And
this straight.
That's what people need to keep in mind.
Let me get this straight. Now that he's downsizing, this is kind of a way to downsize the government. I've heard that on September 30th, there was, I heard this. I was not able to go and check on this, but maybe somebody can in the chat. But at least 100,000 people up until that point resigned, and they were giving their walking papers. A lot of people quit. I heard 100,000. Yes. I heard 200,000. And now that the government is downsizing, right? Now that we're downsizing the government, giving it back to we the people, I guess AI is going to be running a lot of this show as well. This is my personal opinion. But now that he's downsizing the government, this is all strategy. And now that he's downsizing, he's putting in the troops to the cities. This sounds to me like a war strategy, Ghost.
Well, how long have I said there have been troops positioned across the country for a good 2 years now?
Well, you said they were under
just in case. Yeah, absolutely. Been in hidden locations, or some of them in plain sight, in plain clothes, observing, watching. So, let me go so far as to say, you're talking to somebody in Antifa.
Well, I hope so. I'm trying to get him on. I'm trying. Yeah. I'm waving the carrot.
Yeah, and you've got to be careful about the COINTELPRO aspect, because there are still many in the ranks who are against America First and against Trump, against this entire agenda.
Is Antifa, is it organized in a way that they have military? Do they have their own militia? Do they have generals and sergeants and shit like that? Are they organized in that manner?
Yes and no. They're not slick enough, the average rank and file. They know little tricks of how to incite violence. And that's the problem.
Well, I picture them as just a bunch of renegade teenagers, young 20s, just defiant, rebellious, kind of like how we all were as kids, but they don't have families. They don't have parents. They don't have fathers.
They do prey on that demographic, but remember, there's a lot of foreign operatives and provocateurs involved in all of this. So you've got to be very careful with who you're talking to and who they claim to be, and then again, who they're actually associated with. You've got to be very careful with that.
So are they working hand in hand with the cartels and MS-13 and all that? Are they all pretty much the same gang?
Well, yes, but then you've got to go up the ladder a little further. You'll always find some intel agency involved with it.
Of course.
You'll always find somebody with an overview that when they give orders that go down through the ranks, they're trying to be the most effective they can be against this country. And eventually that will all come out. And you see a lot with, let me make something clear on the Charlie Kirk thing. They were doing, let's say, grounds work prior to his being there. The fact that they let them through that area, that was part of what they were already doing.
So they were
Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting though?
Right. So they were. So that was pre-planned. That was
Yeah.
pre-planned, so that they have a reason to continue doing it when it was over.
Exactly.
Wow.
So maybe that
Wow.
window with a 2-inch hole in it has now been replaced.
𝗬𝗏𝗃𝗃 also said that the auditorium that they did the memorial in was rented days before his assassination. That's what she said. She's gotten millions of views on that one post that she put out there. She said Charlie Kirk's memorial, the auditorium, whatever the auditorium was that they held the memorial in, the big stadium, was rented days before his assassination. Is that
when
true?
you're gonna pull something off like that, you're leaving nothing to chance. Nothing.
I'm not talking about the outside auditorium that he
No,
spoke at.
I
I'm talking
know.
about the
I'm talking
memorial.
about the one where the memorial is.
Right. So
I'm saying you're
how is that
leaving
possible?
nothing to chance.
Jeez. Man,
These things are planned in advance, and they're planned to the T.
but do you think
Pre,
Turning Point
during,
could be
and
involved?
post. No, I don't think so.
Do you think there's
No.
people involved that are involved in Turning Point? I mean, I
You
don't know.
may
Man.
have,
I'm starting to.
I'm sure you have one or two informants or people that don't belong in Turning Point.
People are saying here in the chat in May that it was rented out for this. Jeez, that's crazy. That's insane.
And then
That's
people
true.
are,
That's crazy. I don't know if that's true or not. I know 𝗬𝗏𝗃𝗃 put that out, but people are saying in the chat in May that auditorium the stadium was rented for the memorial. Jeez, man, this is crazy.
So let me make one statement. You're in a space where it's all, let's call it alternative media. You're in a space where don't you think by now, don't you think a long time ago alternative media has been infiltrated?
Yeah.
I'm saying it out loud and proud on your show right now. Don't you think alternative media has been infiltrated years ago?
They've tried to get me. I know they have. I know they've tried to get me. I know certain people have approached me and wanted to come on my show or offer me money, and I'm like, nah, it's okay, man. I'll go the other way. I like to stay right comfortably under the radar where I'm at right now.
As soon as they throw money out, there's an agenda. And for those out there, and I know there's a few, I know of a few, and I know their names. I'm not going to say them yet. I know have taken upwards of $2 and $3 million.
Damn.
To be out there, to get in front of. So think of signals intelligence. Think Unit 8200, for example. Again, very small country in the Mediterranean trying to control a lot of shit at one time. A lot of shit, including the president.
So someone in here said that Candace
I'm not pulling any punches.
Right, but Candace said that it was not rented in May. She checked on it, so fact check that, folks. Yes, it was not rented in May. I love how
I don't think it'd be rented that. I don't think it'd be rented that early. If you're going to do something like this, you're going to do that at within the last, say the 10th and 11th hour of something like this. You're not going to rent it in May.
Regardless, I mean, if it was rented before, that's a huge red flag. If it's true, it was rented before. I don't care if it was the day before.
Exactly. I was just going to say, even if it's a day before, I don't give a fuck. Excuse my language, so I'm sorry, I won't do that. Yeah, then you have a problem. Then you have again, you have what you have every day going on everywhere, true conspiracy.
Okay, so I'm going to read this. Trump determined the U.S. is now in a war with drug cartels. Congress has told President Trump has decided that the United States is engaged in a formal armed conflict with drug cartels. Remember, I've been talking about this forever, cartel warfare. I'm surprised it has not spilled onto the streets. I commend the midday raids and the house raids. I know they're doing this on precision strategy where they're going in and
Right.
kicking down doors, taking down head organizers, things that the criminal bosses. They're taking them out, dragging them out of their house. So I know that's what they've been doing behind the scenes. And I know here in El
Right.
Paso, they've confiscated a lot of tunnels coming from
A lot
Mexico
of
into El
tunnels, a
Paso.
lot of homes, a lot of rented homes where nobody seems to live. That's where they do their deals in the suburbs.
Right. They're all over El Paso. El Paso, you don't shit where you eat. El Paso is
Right.
like where a lot of the cartels live, and then they do the dirty stuff in Juarez and all that. But El Paso's
And at the top of it all, you have foreign interests being directed and funded that then tell these cartels what to do, even set them against each other when it's to their advantage. It's very complicated stuff, but it's going on
so
daily.
how bad do you expect this to get, Ghost? I mean, I've lived through the cartel wars in Juarez. From 2005 or 6 to 2013, it was a ghost town. There was shootings every day, 60 to 70, sometimes 100 people a day killed. Do you think that level of violence will hit American streets? I mean, do you think they're waiting for the right time to unleash their violence? Is it going to be when the arrests start? When do you think this kicks off, if it does?
I'm hoping that the surgical method mitigates that down to next to nothing. And I'm looking to see that to be the case. I do expect let me put it this way, whatever violence is necessary to wake certain populations up, that's what you'll see. But no more.
They'll be
And
allowed
no
to happen.
less. It to a degree.
Alex, can you put up the DOD? I can't remember what I sent you, Alex, but it was like the DOD notice or whatever it was. There it is. Instruction of irregular warfare. Ghost, can you comment on this? 3,000.
Well, yeah. We've been involved in irregular warfare for how long? Irregular warfare begins and ends in the minds of the people. The actions are what this is referring to. What you might see as far as physical actions, violence, again, what you're talking about. So if they put out a bulletin like this and they make it public, they're letting people know it's going to get hot in certain places. And it's going to get hot for a reason. There is only one way you can disrupt this country internally, and that is with irregular warfare. Things that nobody expects, things that nobody's looking for, things that nobody thinks will happen in their town, in their neighborhood. Well, expect it. I mean, one of the first people picked up months ago when Iranian, let's say, terrorist ringleaders were picked up. It's 13 miles up the road from me. First one listed, even on MSM. Well, that'll give some people an idea of where I am. I don't give a damn. That's how close it is to people in this country. And I've said it's not going to be in the middle of the cities you expect. It's going to be in the middle of nowhere where you don't expect it.
Rural America?
Rural America is at just as at risk as the inner cities, except with one, and I'll make one caveat. Rural America, in most places, there's more guns than people. And
right.
that's a good
hold
thing.
on. Yeah, but that's where they would, explosions, dirty bombs. So, Juanito's always said that it could hit all cities, but then the main city, the main Democratic hellholes, that's where the fallback will be. That's where Antifa and everything will fall back. And that's where, coincidentally, that's where Trump's putting all the military are in these. So he's getting ahead of the ball there. So Trump knows this is coming. He's prepared for this coming. Hegseth meeting with the generals. They know this is coming. What, any day now? October, November? We always say it's Red October. A lot of people said Rocktober. Do you think this October is going to be any different than any other Red October, or is this going to be more severe, or do you think it'll be more severe next October when we're coming into midterms?
No, I think this November is actually going to be the month. No one's talking about November. November has some key dates to it: 11/9 through 11/13 and 11/30.
So November is
those are key dates. Yeah, you could see very well certain things could pop off in October, here and there. There's been so many mass shootings lately.
Yeah.
So they've been activating their little scrambled brains, idiots out there, plus the copycats and the troubled ones.
Well, hold on, Ghost. Well, hold on. Manchester synagogue attack declared as terrorist incident after 2 killed. Greater Manchester police were called to the scene at Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation Synagogue at 9:31 a.m. and declared a major incident 6 minutes after. So 2 victims have been confirmed dead. The suspect attacked. A suspected attacker has also now been declared dead. This was delayed due to suspicious items on his person. Assistant Commissioner Lawrence Taylor, the Met's head of counterterrorism policing, declared it as a terrorist incident. So that's a synagogue that got attacked. So churches and places of worship now are big targets for these people.
And they've been scoping them for well over a year and a half now, those locations. And then some of them even, well, watch out that, I don't know, might be involved in some of these things, making them happen.
Right.
And I'm sorry, that's just the reality of it.
Man.
Well, I sneezed. I didn't say anything. Excuse me.
So let's, this irregular warfare, everything that's happening right now. I mean, Pete Hegseth meeting with the generals. I've heard some of them were given their walking papers. I've heard some of them were promoted. Do you have any intel on that?
Well, you have a lot who were put in there by the last administration and prior administrations. In other words, before they got their first or second star or third star years ago in the Hussein, they were higher ranking, say major, lieutenant colonel, what have you. They then ascended. And in the last administration, that time period, you had a lot of their people. They actually tried to do a purge of good of America, so let's say America First officers, make it simple. And they put in a lot of their people, a lot of those people. Yeah, you've got to get rid of them from within those levels of the ranks, in the political levels of the ranks. You've got to get rid of them, and you've got to get rid of them in the lower.
Have we asked, has Trump brought a lot of the generals that fired back into the service?
Some have been, yes, because as long as they didn't resign their commission stands. They can come back into active duty if called. And I would imagine a number of them have. I've heard a number of them have.
Says here, Ghost, that houses of worship tighten security amid rising number of attacks. Houses of worship like churches or synagogues throughout the country are increasing security in response to deadly attacks on religious communities, using methods honed by law enforcement and protective agencies to shield their congregates from targeted violence, according to security experts. I mean, think how many churches have been attacked. Now the synagogue. I mean, this was always the plan, though, wasn't it? These are the cells activated, right? They're trying to create or stir up some kind of holy war on American soil. I mean, this is all engineered, correct?
Yeah, because in the most remote counties, in the most remote areas of the country, sheriff's departments, municipal police were alerted a year and a half, 2 years ago. About a year and a half, mostly. to watch out for people of Middle Eastern descent taking pictures of churches in rural areas. Cities goes without saying. Casing places where people would meet for worship, whether it was a storefront type setup or a regular church. And yeah, and this is where they bagged a number of them in the very beginning, about 4 months ago, and who had been in rural areas, who had been casing places of worship. And that was all very real, and it was right out there for people to see. It was reported. And this is, yes, it doesn't matter where your church is, where your congregation meets. You need to have your head on a swivel with this stuff.
It's going to pick up in intensity and frequency for sure. It's just
And
the party's just getting started, folks.
And what is the most persecuted group of
Christians?
Most persecuted religion in the world? People are every day Christians than any other group. So I don't want to hear this bullshit about Muslims. I don't want to hear this bullshit about any other group. It's Christians.
Right.
And it's intentional.
Let's
And
talk
it's
about
it's more coordinated than people think.
Someone says here on the chat, Candace has about 3 more lawsuits coming her way due to the slanderous lies and dangerous doxing she spewed about the people in that little country in the Middle East. Hatred harder after attacks and needs to be shut down. I heard 𝗀𝗏.
She's not all wrong. She's gone off the chain, it appears, but she's not all wrong.
Right. But let's talk about that on .tv, Ghost, okay?
Yeah.
But so from my understanding, 𝗀𝗏, I think some of his families have been getting threats and things like that. I've had 𝗀𝗏 on my show who ran for Utah governor, and his family's having a real hard time with this stuff due to what Candace has been pointing fingers at him, saying suspicious activity, whatever. I commend Candace in a lot of ways for what she's doing, but man, it just seems to me like maybe it could be a little reckless. I don't know. Especially
in certain ways, she's a little out front and voicing things a little too harshly. But she's not. It's not that she's mostly in error of what she's saying. She's just a little. She needs to be a little more, let's say,
precise,
strategic in her.
Yeah. Well, let's get into this. I want to talk a little bit more about Russia, because Russia now has an offense campaign. Here's a Russian offense campaign assessment. Russia and Belarus may conduct special forces sabotage operations against critical infrastructure in Poland and launch additional drone incursions and blame Ukraine. That's what they're saying. What's your thoughts on this? Is Russia going to launch a offensive on Poland? Are we going to be, because if they do that, that's the start of World War III. We're in it. If they go after Poland, forget it. It's on. All bets are off. Do you think it's going to be even Russia doing that? Does
common sense dictate they would do that?
No.
Or is this a higher level, again, show? That's the question people have to ask themselves. Is this a higher level show? And I think 3rd Infantry Division, people go over there, 4,500 of them. You've had, for the first time in history, a German brigade stationed, a combat brigade with tanks, etc., stationed outside of Germany.
Jeez.
Since World War II. The very first time. All right. And where were they put? Near the border with Ukraine, in Poland. All right. Think about this. There are certain countries that want us to go to war. A certain one in particular.
Yeah, I know. In the Middle East, correct? Or which one?
Little one in the Mediterranean that couldn't fight a war of that size if their life depended on it. Even if they used their nukes. All right. You have everything being positioned for what? In the end, they could all go south and equally inhabit that one little country that one bigger country that's a pain in the ass, Ukraine, and stop all this nonsense. Think about it.
Right.
All I'm doing, I'm positing because it makes zero sense for Russia and the West to go to war. Makes zero sense. It does make sense for them to position to look like they're going to war, but at the very last minute be used to subdue that one country with the dancing Zorba that's gone batshit.
Zorba the
And
Greek.
there you go.
Oh,
Yeah, his little tight latex outfit and his
boy,
high heels. So
heels.
that's all I can think of when I think of that little son of a bitch. But think about it. Who would also want to have a hand in on that, to have a say in it, just like at the end of World War II, Germany. So for the first time since World War II, we're talking 1945, Germany has positioned a fully capable combat brigade
Jeez.
outside of its borders in Poland on the border, right next to us, arm in arm with I believe it's 3rd Infantry Division, 4,500 guys from there, additional flown over. Okay, think about it. This is a way then you short circuit that entire what was a globalist. Everything moved from Panama and Costa Rica when it came to the shady dealings with money. Because it all comes down to money. They moved it all to Ukraine. And for years they were operating out of Ukraine, trafficking of everything.
Let me
Robert Steele talked about it.
Right. Let's save that for Nino's Corner.tv. We're gonna go there
All
next,
right.
folks. We're gonna go there next
But
and talk about all the shady deals.
I'm getting but I'm getting to the verge of hardcore on this broadcast for a reason.
Right.
For people to think about it, really think about what's going on and what has to happen, as opposed to what others want to happen.
Let's get to some super chats. Super chats. Are there any super chats, Alex? Lucia Robertson, super sticker. Thank you so much. Mary, Eyes of an Angel, Hexeth said no beardos. Genius plan. All Muslims will not cut face hair. Oh, that's right. Genius plan. All Muslims will not cut face hair. Religious issue. Obama allowed. Wow, that's right.
Right.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Remember, Mary, Eyes of an Angel. Remember, is no face hair Muslim military will quit and leave the military. No beardos. That's strategy 100% right there. Wow.
Unless you're special forces and you're operating where there's beardos.
Yeah, right.
Look, regulations used to be the mustache didn't go past the corner of your mouth. There were no goatees and beards. Forget that. The most you could have was a well-kept mustache, not beyond the borders of the corners of your mouth, period. And most people didn't even wear those. You just shaved every day.
Next one. Antifa, satanic temples, witches, warlocks, voodoo worshippers, death metal bands. They are Antifa staff. They are the Antifa staff. Yeah, I agree. Next one. Strange Days. The interview with Sheila Holm was awesome, Nino. May the creator be with us for this coming battle. Absolutely. I suggest people go to Nino's Corner.tv and watch it there. There's a lot more there on Nino's Corner.tv. And get on Ringside with Nino, folks. This Wednesday is going to be fire. Next one. Martin Shramega, I guess. Super sticker. Thank you. Thank you so much. Marcine, I think it is. Marcine. Thank you. 𝗬𝗪ce Clark, I love the way you tell your guests. Can you tell my audience so they can understand? It's also for me. It's also for me because I'm just as dumb as anybody else. Hey, yo. All right.
No, you're not dumb as a fox.
Next one. Tish Ramirez, thank you so much for the super sticker. The super sticker. I put it on my window. Mary, Eyes of an Angel, King Clement heard from God. He said, Hypnotic November. Vendetta, remember the 5th of November. What do you think about that, Ghost?
Well, that fits in what information I'm getting regarding November. This
All right.
November.
Next one. Hospitality State, is the shutdown that letter in the alphabet post done in 30? Oh, I'm not an expert in this. Are you, Ghost?
No, I'm not an expert in any of that either. Even though, yeah, well aware of the whole thing, the whole operation, and what it was designed for. Again, remember, it was designed to get you thinking.
Right.
And it did. It
Next
did.
one.
It worked this thing.
Brian, I'm a police officer. Okay, I'm a police officer where in that city I worked the memorial event. Things got switched after he was killed. It wasn't pre-rented for his memorial. Okay, good to know. See, I like everyone involved.
See,
here.
that's
great.
That's good to know.
That's good to know. See, you have to. It's everybody's working together. That's the Black Sheep family, folks. And with that being said,
there you go.
Let me read a couple articles.
That's boots on the ground right there.
Yeah, that's why it's a Black Sheep family, man. We all do it together.
Because I only heard the same things anybody else did on that. I didn't hear any.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything about.
Ghost. I don't come on here. I don't come on here to know it all, man. I want to find out like everybody else, and I hope that I'm gaining people's trust that way, because that's all I'm doing, man. I want everybody to be involved, working together in the Black Sheep family. Now, Musk urges Netflix boycott over woke agenda in kid shows. Industrialist Elon Musk is urging parents to boycott Netflix, accusing the streaming giant of pushing that agenda on children. In a meme shared on X that Musk reached to on October 1st, Netflix was depicted as a Trojan horse, labeled. I don't even like to say that crap on this on YouTube, but on that pushing that agenda, the pretty colored flag agenda. So. He says, hey,
no, he's right. Look who's on the board at one time. I think he still is. Hussein.
Yeah. So there's you're right. And there's Big Mike. So
Big Mike.
I mean, I think, hey, I don't ever watch Netflix. Every time I go on Netflix, there's no shit on there I want to watch anyway. I get like paralysis analysis. I just kind of stare at everything. And I look at everything and I go, none of this shit looks like I want to watch it. Like, it just all looks like garbage. Nobody pays attention to writing a very well done script anymore for a movie. It's all CGI garbage. It's just garbage. I don't want to watch any of it. I watch YouTube.
And there are people out there who want to get back to making good films, just good stories. Doesn't matter whether it's from 10,000 years ago or 2 million years in the future
anymore. They don't care about
that anymore.
It's all about explosions and CGI and just garbage, man.
Because what you have is writers, directors, and producers who were raised on the very thing they're making. They forgot that what gave that industry rise was telling real human stories.
That's gone. There'll never be another movie like The Notebook or any movies like that get like tear jerkers. You don't see that anymore.
Well, look at The Bridge on the River Kwai, or Lawrence of Arabia, or Dr. Zhivago. All three of those were in the 1960s. They were telling sweeping human stories. And we should be having a human experience, not regurgitating what we watched on television and saw in films from the last 20 years, and then 20 years prior to that. You're going into a third generation that is basing their stories on the ridiculous crap that came before them, other than what was good, what they took from a book, like Zhivago is I believe, from a Pasternak novel. Things like that. You're not seeing great stories, novels, for example, not about the nonsense going on today, but about life, about real human life. You're not seeing that being written nor produced. And that's what people, if they were to do that, take the chance, guess what? They'd be surprised because human beings have not changed. Technology and nonsense have changed them, but not in a way that is still coherent with human experience.
Someone just wrote here, Renee Garcia. She goes, "No, it's not. I'm a Hollywood filmmaker. Indie filmmakers are taking over the new Hollywood. I'm part of it. My
And
film
they
is
should.
story. In theaters
Well,
next year."
God bless them.
Renee, put your movie up here. I'll make sure to promote the movie. Put it in all caps, and Alex will show it. That'd be great. A real movie by Renee Garcia. Orale.
God bless them, because a lot of the great films have been coming from Mexican directors, Mexican producers and
I'm waiting
writers,
for the movie. I'm waiting
because
for
of
a movie on Pancho Villa. I think
there you go.
big. I'm surprised that hasn't come out during a time like this. Do you know he was the first? I heard that he was the first foreign terrorist
To invade the U.S.
to invade the U.S. Right, he was the first one to ever invade Columbus, New Mexico, where I ride my dune buggy. Right
And
there.
do you know who went after him? You know who went after him and bagged a whole bunch of them?
The Marshal,
General Patton, when he was
really?
when he was low-ranking officer. Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
And he used cars, mechanized vehicles to chase them down, because the horses only had so much steam. Once they chased them down, they did kill a number of them, and they did strap them to the top of the front of the cars and bring them back and said, "Yeah, we got them." And that was General Patton.
Interesting. All right, let's get to the next one here. Jane Goodall, who chronicled the social lives of chimps, dies at 91. And I got to say, folks, if you get a chance to go look up 𝗬𝗵𝗶𝗀, the chimpanzee that had like human DNA, have you seen this shit, Ghost?
No, I haven't.
Dude, I forgot the name of the chimpanzee, but it's called 𝗬𝗵𝗶𝗀. And it chimps wanted to. No, listen to this. It looked like it had human DNA. Like it walked upright. It didn't walk on all fours. It had human ears. Creepy as hell. It was attracted to human women, not other chimps. It only liked human women. And other chimps fled from this thing. Other chimps did not want to be around this thing. People need to look up 𝗬𝗵𝗶𝗀. I never knew about it till the other night. And I was watching it on YouTube, 𝗬𝗵𝗶𝗀. But all right, folks, let's get to what the fuck news. Now, this is really long. This is really, really long. So I'm just going to read the first paragraph. But in what the fuck news, right to arms. Frenzied conservatives invest millions in panic rooms, bulletproof cars, and robot guards triggered by Charlie Kirk's assassination. Spooked conservatives are investing in drones, gun-toting robots, and armor-plated bedroom suites in a frenzied scramble for safety in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. This syndicate can exclusively reveal Kirk's September 10th killing on a Utah college campus sent shockwaves through the right and prompted many of the nation's most outspoken public figures to pour millions into fortress-like security measures. Influencers, TV pundits, and podcasters are canceling events while they consult with former Secret Service agents and counterterrorism experts to protect themselves from any violent left-wing fanatics. Now, who's always been on the air saying that I don't go to events? Me, right here. I don't go to them. I don't care about them. I've been invited to a lot of events. I'm like, I don't think so. I'm going to sit that out. And VIP security firms tell this syndicate that they've been inundated with calls demanding everything from armored cars to the latest drones and robots that neutralize threats with shotgun shells or pepper spray. It's not paranoia. The threat is real, warned one expert. There's the Charlie Kirk shooting, the attack on the Mormons, the church shooting in Minneapolis. People are losing their minds and are running in fear. scurrying into pokey panic rooms in a thing of the past. However, so look, obviously that's what they're trying to deliver. That's the end goal here, folks. That's what they want. They want you scared. They want you
Learn how
living
to shoot and
in fear.
scoot.
What's that?
Learn how to shoot and scoot.
Yeah, learn how
You
to
don't
shoot
need
and scoot. You're right.
Because that's what you're going to have to do in the end. The panic room's not going to save you. Somebody wants you.
But that's what they want. They want terrorism to be such a thing that we're always fighting this enemy, and people live in fear, and they lock themselves up anyway. They spend all day in their house in front of the computer. They tried to do that with the boogeyman in 2020. It didn't work. So here comes the next one. Terrorism. Terrorism. Everyone's paranoid. You can't go into a public place without looking behind your shoulder, looking around. It's getting crazy, man.
Yeah, it's getting stupid.
It's getting ridiculous. Ghost, can I get you on @Nino'sCorner.tv right after this?
Yes, you can.
All right, I'll send you a link right now. Let's finish this up on Nino'sCorner.tv, folks. And folks, with that being said, I'm out of here. Alex, are you there?
Hey, Nino.
Pretty good show today. I think let's try to do something tomorrow. I'd like to do some commentating on the riots and stuff like that, the protests.
Yeah.
Let's take it out if you can find some stuff to live stream that we can commentate on.
Yeah. I'll find some stuff. The stuff that's going on in Portland with the ICE facility. Maybe people have probably seen the last couple of days some of the headlines, and different influencers, YouTubers have gone out there to try to see what's going on, met with a lot of resistance, and now they're getting cracked down on. So
yeah, they're not going to be able to handle the military, man. I don't know what they're thinking, but whatever. But this is all preemptive, dude. These are all preliminary strikes by Trump to get ahead of the ball for what's coming. And I think he's neutralizing everything. They're not going to have I don't think they'll have a big enough hand to play with all this, but who knows? Renee Garcia, she says here, can you put that up? Renee Garcia's super chat.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what she says here. Renee Garcia. Receding is the name of the movie.
Receding.
Sorry, geez, man. Gosh. Hey, yo, is the name of the movie. Nino, thanks for the shout out. I'm indie filmmaker, made a 50-time winning short, made into feature in theaters 2026. Lead is kid actress. Does that say lead? Lead is kid actress.
Who has alopecia based on a true
story. What's alopecia?
Alopecia is where you can't grow hair, can't grow body hair or hair on your head.
All right.
So, okay, well, awesome, Renee. Thank you so much for sharing that, and keep kind of reminding us in the chat, and we love to keep bringing some awareness to your film as it's getting closer to the release date.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, I'm all about indie films, man.
Yeah, no, and I think it's coming, like she said, it's coming back. Like especially with AI and stuff, like there's the part of society that just wants to be all in and use AI and technology for everything, all CGI, all AI, all artificial, all this. But there's going to be the side that still wants every organic and
true human stories,
the human touch. And, I think Gen Alpha, after what Gen Z has gone through, the next generation is going to kind of be able to see like, all right, we don't necessarily want to
I think you're right about that. It's going to just boomerang. Well, we'll see. All right, Alex, thank you. And folks, I'm out of here. Thank you. I got to go do my stress test. So folks, I'm out. Thank you. And the new heavyweight champion of podcasting and the black